Video too. Look at that. I must not have bored you to death. So I'm going to dive right in just to the second page here. And my job is to determine the equation of this line in all three forms. So no matter what form I'm going to use, I want to start off by finding the slope. Okay, that's kind of like the driving thing of linear functions is I want to find what the change in y over the change in x is, or what y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is. And for me, I like just to label it. So x1, y1, and x2, y2. Now you can flip those labels and it'll still evaluate the same thing. It just means your work initially is going to have some extra negatives or some reverse negatives kicking around. So extending that out, I'm going to get negative 2.2 minus negative 1 all over 1 minus a negative 5. So m is equal to negative 2.2 minus a negative 1 is going to give me negative 1.1 over 1 minus negative 5 is 6. What a weird slope. I'm just going to do a general check here, making sure I like everything that I just did. Negative 2.2 minus, so it's adding 1, which takes me that, yeah. Maybe 1.2 would be useful, because it's not 1.1, it's 1. That makes a little bit more sense. That was going to be a really weird fraction. So I can actually write this as negative 12 over 60 by multiplying by 10 on the top and bottom there. And this is the same thing as negative 1/5. If you don't recognize that, that's okay, but you do want to definitely hone your fraction skills in the world of AP. Okay, so I'm going to dive right in, and I'm going to say Fulm. So for me, Fulm slope point is our bread and butter, because mathematicians are very lazy when it comes to naming things, and if we can be lazy in doing it, it's also going to be to our benefit, because all I need is the slope and a point. And lo and behold, I just found the slope, and I have two different points to pick from. Each of them are equally valid. So I'm going to pick the one with integers just to keep my life easy. So y minus a negative 1 would be y plus 1 equals negative 1/5. X minus a negative 5 is x plus 5. Okay, if you have the minusing the negative, that's fine. But again, if we can simplify, we want to simplify. Then I'm just going to kind of take this, and I'm going to just rearrange for y to be able to solve for what my y-intercept is. So I would say y is equal to negative 1/5 x minus 1 minus 1, which gives me negative 1/5 x minus 2. Okay, some of you might have said, Savoy, can't you just look at that and see that it's negative 2? You could roll the dice. But in this case, we were nice as teachers. It might not have been so nice the other time. So we can mathematically prove and be guaranteed to get that point there. Like I said, that could have been negative 2.1 or something. And if we were in another universe, we would be a little bit meaner. So y is equal to negative 1/5 x minus 2. And finally, form generale, I want to isolate. So let me just kind of write it down here. So y equals negative 1/5 x minus 2. I'm going to move everything to one side. So 0 is equal to negative 1/5 x minus y minus 2. So I want to multiply both sides by, I want to multiply by the 5 to get rid of that. And I'm also going to make it a negative 5 because I don't want a negative x leading. So I'm going to get 0 because that 0 just eats everything and we don't have to worry about that. So that's going to give me positive x plus 5y plus 10. Look at all those positives. 0 is equal to x plus 5y plus 10. Okay, and that's it for this one. I'll stop kind of at each page. I will point out though that in this, I'm sure has come up in class, but there's nothing mathematically wrong with expressing it like that. It comes down to mathematics and conventions and what is the acceptable standard. It's kind of like if you start a sentence without a capital, everyone can still read what it means. It just looks a little bit weird. Or if we write a paragraph using no punctuation, we can get the gist of it, but it doesn't land the same way. Whereas when we kind of tighten everything up and make sure we don't have our negative leading coefficients, make sure we don't have the fractions, that's the formal way, that is the correct conventional way to express something, in this case, in form generale. Okay? So just that little side note there. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.